Morning everybody, and welcome back to your weekly energy forecast. So sorry there was no video last week. I wasn't feeling too great on Monday, so I thought I'll just take the week off and do this week's video. Okay, so before I waffle on any further, let's do what we do every week. Let's get some cards out for the energy and the guidance that we need for the beginning of the week, the middle of the week, and the end of the week. Okay, so let's ask for guidance here. What energy is here for today and tomorrow? We have Justice. Now today we're using a new deck just because we can. It's the Lightseer's Tarot. Isn't it just gorgeous? Okay, so I love this deck purely because of the imagery. It just tells a huge story, as I love my cards to do. So today and tomorrow we have Justice. And if you look at this lady, she's holding the scales of justice, but notice what's underneath her is a reflection. And that reflection is a little bit different to what she actually looks like. So what I'm hearing here with the guidance with this for today and tomorrow is, before we point fingers at others, before we judge others, let's look at our own selves. Right? So before we get into harsh debates or we criticize the world around us or the people around us, let's just first take a bit of inventory with our own selves. And let's try and bring some balance and fairness and compassion to ourselves and others. Because I'm hearing the word fairness. I'm hearing if life has been a little bit unfair, then things are going to start to look a little bit better today and tomorrow and start to go your way a little bit. Also, this card favors legal dealings. So if there's been any legalities that you've been struggling with, I'm hearing a fair and balanced and logical approach will really help the situation and help it to go more in the highest direction for everyone's highest good. So balance and fairness is today and tomorrow. I'm also hearing the words moderation. Don't try and do everything all in one go. Take your time, go slowly. Okay, patience is key. Okay, so let's have a look for what guidance is here to elaborate on that for today and tomorrow. This is from the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid. This is one of my go-to decks. I love this deck. Oh, two together. Okay, these two came out together. So we have the Loyal Heart and TikTok. Now, Loyal Heart is all about taking stock of the people who are rowing your boat with you, that are supportive of you, your supportive relationships, and which brings in justice as well, as in be mindful of being fair with your relationships. Nobody is perfect at the end of the day. And before we criticize someone else for being imperfect, let's first just take a look at our own selves and see how maybe we might be projecting onto other people actually. We might be criticizing others of what we're guilty of ourselves. Let's just be mindful of that, please. And then this card here again, Loyal Heart, is to do with our loyalty to others, our relationships that are very supportive of us. And I'm also hearing the words through thick and thin. So in other words, you have people in your life, and give gratitude for those people that are there for you through thick and thin, and how you can also be there for them through thick and thin. I'm hearing the words, your loyalty will be rewarded. I'm also hearing the loyalty to yourself, as in if you've been working really hard on yourself and really investing in your own self and your own energy, your loyalty to your path will be rewarded, as in justice will prevail. What you put in is what you get out. And then TikTok. This card is all about patience, right? And also knowing that there is time. So in other words, if you're not really getting to where you want to be, right, at the moment, you don't feel like you're there yet, we're all a work in progress. Life is always a work in progress. There is time. There's no need to rush anything or force anything or push anything. There is time. Let's be patient, right? Okay, because I'm feeling this urge to kind of get ahead and like we're running out of time, we've got to get things done and blah, 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 blah. And Spirit is saying, shh, patience, take your time. Rome wasn't built in a day. Okay, let's see. What energy do we have for Wednesday and Thursday? Let's see. What do we have? Oh, this one grabs my attention immediately. Okay, here we the Fool. We've been getting this card quite a bit recently. Now, if you look at this lady, she's kind of hanging over the edge, and she's got, what on earth is that in her hand? It looks like a crystal. And this card is all about taking the leap, right? So a lot of us are going to be feeling the urge to move forward, to get ahead fast, and to think we all got to do it by ourselves. We've got to do it all on our own, which brings me back to the loyal heart again, that we do have support. We do have helpers, right? And this card also talks about just letting go of what's holding you back. Let go of what's keeping you tethered and just jump in, because there's all sorts of magic there, right? Because when we leap into the unknown, we find treasures and magic that we would not have found if we did not take the leap. But taking this leap doesn't have to be done today. We can take our time with that, and we can choose to be cautious. What sticks out with what I think is a crystal, well, it's purple, it's amethyst. Amethyst is all about the third eye. It's about trusting your vision, trusting what you clairvoyantly envision for yourself and what you envision for your future. Choose this. Choose your intuition. Choose where you're guided to go instead of holding on to the familiar. Because I think the familiar limits our growth. There's no treasure there. There's no magic there. Okay? We've got to leap into the unknown. Okay. Now let's get a card out from the wisdom of the oracle and see what guidance is here for Wednesday and Thursday. We have never-ending story. Okay, this kind of mirrors the Fool card here, because this card talks about going round and round in circles, and also being mindful of the story that we tell ourselves and the story we tell others. So this could be things like, nothing ever works out for me, nobody loves me, nothing ever goes my way, blah, 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 the story we tell. And it's becoming more obvious now than ever before, because whatever story we tell becomes more and more reinforced in our reality. Remember, the universe always proves our beliefs to be correct. So if we believe that life is just going to hell, that's exactly what we're going to experience. So let's just be super, super mindful this week on what story are we telling, right? Do we want to remain in the stuck, old, boring, dull ways of being? Or do we want to take the risk and go in a new direction, right? Let's be mindful of our stories. Let's change our story a bit. Okay, let's get some guidance from the enchanted map, just for how we can navigate this. What can we realistically do to change our story? The Golden Palace. Okay, now this has to do with value. It doesn't have to necessarily be prosperity. It can be about whatever we really value. It could be we value our time, our loved ones. What do we value, right? So I'm hearing the words shift in focus. So we might find ourselves this week discovering that what we did value before in our never-ending repetitive story, we might realize that that actually wasn't valuable, right? So in other words, maybe we found value in a relationship where we felt defined by the other. When we define ourselves by the other, we accidentally limit ourselves and we remain small, right? So you want to give yourself a new definition this week. How do you define yourself? How do you believe your life to be? What do you believe is your potential? Because therein lies your value. So there's a shift in values this week, right? So we might decide, even let's put it in the context of a job. Let's say we defined ourselves by this job that maybe we don't like anymore. We've outgrown it. It's awful, right? It's not what we want anymore. We've outgrown it. So before we defined ourselves by what we did, now we need to start defining ourselves on what we want to do and who we want to be and what our passions are. And therein lies our value. Okay, interesting. Real shift in values this week, it looks like. Okay, so let's have a look now for Friday and the weekend. What energy do we have here for Friday and the weekend? We have the Queen of Pentacles. How beautiful is this card? Now this lady, this queen, she's sitting there, she's very sure of herself. She's grounded and she's practical and she's closing her eyes like she's relishing the moment. So Friday and the weekend, this calls for practicality for being grounded, going slowly, knowing your own worth and value of your sovereignty, because this week is going to shift our values a little bit, right? So this is going to be quite interesting to see how this plays out. Now, if you are male, this could just be your sense of receptivity being awoken, where you don't feel like you have to be action, go, 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 go all the time. It is safe for you to be in a more receptive, more patient, more cautious state, right? We don't always have to rush everything. Rushing is never a good idea. When we rush things, we have to do things twice. Okay, so beautiful, beautiful card. And she's just so chilled out and so secure in who she is. Beautiful. Okay, let's see what guidance is here from the wisdom of the Oracle for Friday and the weekend. Let's see, that one pops out. Co-create. Co-create. Look at this. Okay, so if we look at this card, there's a leopard sitting on the edge of this, what looks like a wall. There's an owl and a tightrope, and there's a beautiful egg underneath. So this card is all about, like, this leopard wanting to get to the egg, which symbolizes new beginnings. But we're needing to also trust that little owl that's there, because that owl will tell us where to go, what to do, etc. So the owl is our intuition, and the intuition is the voice of the creator, of the all that is, right? So it's very important as this weekend comes, as we birthing the new, whether it be birthing ourselves and our new identity and our new way of being, which gives rise to new things like new jobs, new relationships, whatever it is that's new that you're wanting to bring into your world, we've got to trust our intuition. And our intuition, as we know, and as I've said 100 times, only gives us one instruction at a time. It's like a GPS. The GPS doesn't say, turn left here, turn right there, go up, go down. It gives us one step at a time. So don't expect to see the whole map from the get-go. Just trust your intuition. It's your GPS. It's telling you where to go. And also knowing that you're not alone in how you are self-inventing or self-reinventing at the moment. You're not doing this by yourself, okay? We are here to be co-creators with the divine. We are the instruments of the divine, here to create a better world for ourselves and others. So it's very important to trust as we co-create and to also be patient with the process. Okay, so let us have a look and see what wisdom is here from the Enchanted map. How can we realistically do this? Okay, let's see. Moonlight. Excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat. Okay, so moonlight is all about exactly that. It's about intuition. It's about trusting that little light that is your intuition when it's dark, right? So this again talks about, there's a lot of darkness in the world at the moment. There's lots of fear and anxiety and anger and all sorts of dark heaviness. So without us getting sucked in and drawn in, yes, we can exercise compassion. Of course, yes, we can be empathetic and compassionate, but we must not get sucked in. We've got to trust our little light, our little intuition that guides us in going forward here. And I'm also hearing trust the process, because when we're walking around outside in the dark and we've got the moon to light the way, we don't hurry those steps. We go slowly. So let's trust our intuition hugely this week, because Spirit is saying that our intuition is really, really on point this week, right? So what I love about us for this week is we really are reinventing ourselves in beautiful, amazing ways. We are starting new things. We're taking leaps. We've been taking leaps for a while. This has been a recurring theme, if you will, of creating the new. And Spirit is saying this new that we're all going into is not familiar. It's completely new. It's literally about jumping into that void and not knowing where the hell it's going to take you. But what Spirit is saying loud and clear here, one thing is for absolute certain. Even though we're not certain of where we're going, what is certain is that we cannot remain the same anymore. We cannot remain stuck in situations where we feel that they're no longer serving a purpose. They're no longer making us sparkle, right? We're now needing to say yes to what does make us sparkle and to trust our intuition because it'll give us those baby steps to get there. So this looks like quite an intense week. They're saying the energy out there is going to feel heavy, right? But they're saying let's raise our vibration once again. We need to do what raises that, what makes us feel lifted, whether it's happy music, getting up and dancing, talking to a friend that makes us laugh, watching some comedy, just helping our energy to remain high as we push through. They're calling it, again, it's a birth. And a birth, as we know, is never slow, and it's always painful, let's be real, okay? So as we push through little baby steps at a time, let's not forget our intuition, because also what's contributing to the heaviness out there at the moment is there's a lot of fear. A lot of us are feeling very scared and very anxious and very unsure, right? But Spirit is once again saying that they have our back. Our Creator has our back. The universe is a largely benevolent place, and we're always supported, but we must make a decision, because the universe doesn't really support umming and ahhing. Because when we and ah, we're going, do I want this? Do I want that? I don't know. And then as we say, I don't know what I want, the universe is going, do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? Okay? The universe will throw anything at us because we're uncertain. So let us be certain of what it is that we really want, even if we're not sure of what the object is or whatever the situation is. We're not sure what that is, but we know the way we want to feel. Let's be certain about feeling, right? And then the universe will co-create with us. We co-create with the universe to align ourselves with the object, situation, people, things that will give us those feelings that we're after. Okay, the universe always delivers feeling, and feeling is vibration, right? So that's why they're harping on about let's raise our vibration so that we can attract more of like vibration, because like attracts like, right? So very interesting week this week. It feels like a very wobbly sort of energy. It's like you're neither here nor there. And I think that's, they're giving me the analogy of the bicycle again. Like when we first get on the bicycle, when we first learn to ride a bicycle, we're like, we're not really sure how we're doing this. We're very, very wobbly, right? But as we keep going, we even out and we get to where we're meant to be. So let's trust the process this week. Let's be very mindful of our stories that we tell ourselves. Let's be mindful of what we keep saying or keep thinking. We've got to detach from that old story, because that old story is linked to our old identity. We're reinventing ourselves anew this week, which ties in beautifully with the new moon that we have at the moment. It's a very powerful new moon, and it's a new moon in Leo. So this is all about how do you sparkle? How do you express yourself? How loyal is your heart? How much heart do you bring to your work, to your relationships, to your surroundings, to your home? Where's your heart at, right? Time to change the story. Don't be afraid to share your love and to show who you really are this week, because that's what Leo energy is all about. Okay, so I hope that helps. Stay tuned for, I'm going to do another video now with the energy for the various star signs. So if you want like a bit of a more personal reading, this is the energy for all of us as a collective for this week. This is the weather for the week. When I do the star signs, when I do the astro forecast, that will show a little bit more of a personal description of what you can expect this week for you as an individual. So stay tuned for that. Just got to upload that, and that takes a month of Sundays. So sending you all so much love. Have an amazing week ahead and an amazing Happy Women's Day to all our sparkly ladies out there. Sending you all so much love. Have a great week. Take care. Bye.